everyone, it's Di here from Di's Den, and this week I'm going to show you how to make this card. This was inspired by Dawn Griffith and iced ink. So Dawn did hers in a smaller size and iced ink did hers in a larger size, but they kept this middle section the same width as the back section, where I've actually bought mine in the same amount each time. So I'm going to show you how to do my version of it. So if you belong to my Facebook group and you download my free tutorials on a Sunday morning, you will find that this tutorial comes with both sizes written on there, which is a 7x5 or a regular 5 7/8 by 4 1/8. This folds flat up like this. This one won't go into a normal one because of the windmill on the top, but it will otherwise fit into a regular envelope. Same with this one. This one folds up flat, all level at the top, except for that one, which there's not much I can do about that. I guess I could have put it down the bottom. I never even gave that a thought when I made it. But it fits into a 7x5 envelope, and they stand up really, really nicely. Not on my thing here, it's all bent underneath here. So it does stand up very, very nicely on its own. That one doesn't want to today, but this one does. So there you go. This one is my board underneath here. Let me show you. It's a bit wonky. It's got a bit warped with the heat. You can't actually see it. So I've had a few warm days and my poor old board has got warped. I think I need a new one. So anyway, that's it. This is the one I did with the tulips and the windmill, and I should have put the windmill down the bottom, but never mind. I will be giving that one to somebody in person, so it doesn't really matter for me. So that's our card for today. So let me show you what we're going to be using for this. So we're going to be doing this with the Daffodil Dream set, and we're going to make this into an Easter card, so we're going to have an Easter blessing on it. We're going to actually make daffodils. Now I've cut them all out, so I've used these leaves and stems, and I haven't cut them as long as these because I don't need them that length. So, and again, I haven't put these already into the magnetic sheets yet. I'm being really slack, I'll tell you. But I'm going to use this flower here for the back of the card because I'm not going to put any words on it, and I'm going to stamp a couple of butterflies. I've also cut some out again, like I did in a previous video. So they're for the front of the card, but we're going to actually make some daffodils. So before we go on with all these pieces here, I'm going to show you how to make these daffodils. So if you get the daffodil dies, there are 3 lots of, three lots of dies for making daffodils. Now you can make, like this one here makes just like a bud, and we're not going to make making a bud, or we can make full blown daffodils, which is what we're going to do, and there's 2 different varieties, different shapes. So you get all these pieces here. Let me show you, to make 2 daffodils. My goodness, I know it looks very daunting, but it's actually not that bad. So this makes 1 daffodil, and this, this, that, those, and that make 1 daffodil, and that make another. So we're going to make this daffodil here first. So you need to cut 2 of these pieces like so, in a lighter or a darker colour, doesn't really matter which way around you do it. And this one here, which is, if you see these are the solid ones, where these are the cut out ones. So you need those 3 to make 1, and those 3, and that all makes 1 daffodil. So we're going to do this together. I'll show you how it goes together. We take 1 of these and 1 of these, so our solid piece plus our piece that has got looks like a bit like a spider, I guess, is the best way to explain it. And we're going to pop that onto here like so. Oh, come on, get on there. That's it. And we're going to do the same with the other one here as well. So we're going to pop this one onto this one. This spider bit onto this piece here. And as you can see, they go on together really, really nicely. And then we're going to pop this piece over the top of this. To me, it looks a bit like a cupcake. But you know what it is. It's a daffodil. Over the top like so, and we get our flower that looks like that. How gorgeous does that look? And then these two pieces go together like so. So we're going to pop a bit of glue in the middle there and glue those two pieces together, and then I'm going to get a dimension and put on the back of this one to give it a bit of height. And this one just sits like this on an angle. And that's our first daffodil flower with a leaf and a stem. So I'm going to pop a bit of glue down this stem here because I'm going to put my leaf onto that stem there like so, because of the I don't know how much of this we're going to need. And then this will sit onto there. So we pop a tiny bit of glue onto this bit here, and this bit can sit onto this one like so. Maybe I should have moved that one over a tiny bit. So that's our first daffodil done. And he's sitting there nicely, ready to go for when we need him on the front of the card. For our other daffodil, so let's move these pieces out of the way now. I'll pop these all the way back in my thing afterwards. Come on, out of the way. That's it. I broke another nail. I'm really bad. We're going to use these three pieces for our light piece, and these three pieces for our dark piece. And once again, we're going to take this one and this funny shaped one, spidery shaped one again, and we're going to glue those two pieces together like so. And then with this piece that looks a bit like a bow tie gone wrong, with a scraggly bow tie, it's going to go over the top of that one, like so. And then our daffodil, which I still think looks a bit like a cupcake if you ask me, will be going on top of this one like this. Then we're going to glue this one to the here. Now I think you can put it either on top or underneath. I think I'm going to put mine underneath. And then turning this way, we're going to pop our head of our daffodil, the middle of the daffodil flower, onto this piece here like so. And then this one is going to sit onto this leaf bit. I'm going to turn this leaf bit over this time and put the leaf onto it. And some more glue onto the top of that one, and that one sits on there just like that. And that's our daffodils all made. So we've done our daffodils ready. So if you would like more information just about the daffodils themselves, just give me a hoy, and I will help you out if I can. So let's pop them out of the way and we will get on with our card. So this has got quite a bit of card pieces to it. So I'm going to go through it with you. So let's start. This is the back of the card. This card is actually made in 3 sections. And this piece measures 9 13/16, which is 1 off of the 3/4 mark just before it, by 4 1/8. And then our back layer measures 4 5/8 by 3 7/8. And our designer series paper, which has retired because this was celebration, and so it was a celebration item, which was a free item, but I still had some left and I wanted to use it up, so I'm using it. And this piece measures 4 3/8 by 3 5/8. Our second layer measures 4 7/8 by 3 1/8, with a layer that measures 4 5/8 by 2 7/8, and a designer series paper layer, which is part of the same pack, but this piece measures 4 3/8 by 2 5/8. Our front layer, now this all looks really quite weird because of the some pieces are big and small, but I'll assure you it all goes together properly. The card front piece measures 7 13/16, which is 1 off of the 3/4, just short of it, by 2 1/8, with a layer that measures 3 5/8 by 1 7/8, and a DSP layer that measures 3 3/8 by 1 5/8. And then we have our 2 panels that are left here for the back of our card, and they measure 5 5/8 by 3 7/8 and 5 3/8 by 3 5/8. Now I did forget to cut something out, so I'm actually going to pop you all on hold for a moment and go and finish cutting those few silly pieces out, and I'll be back. These pieces are optional, but I'm going to pop them in so that you know what they are. So this piece is 3/4 inch by 3 7/8, and this piece is 1/2 inch by 3 5/8, and these go onto the cubes, so you'll see what I mean when we get there. And then this one for the front cube measures 3/4 inch by 1 7/8, and this piece measures 1/2 inch by 1 5/8, and that's all of our pieces. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by moving all of these pieces out of the way. We might as well glue these pieces together as we go, so we know where we're going off with these little bits and we don't lose them. As I said, these are optional. I put them on, I just thought that they just took that plainness away from the middle of the card, but they are entirely up to you. So you pop that one onto there. Oops, didn't get that very even, did I? There we go, that's a bit better. Okay, so now we're going to do a bit of scoring before we start. That's the back of our card, the front of our card. So we're going to bring in our scoreboard, and we're going to score our piece on the long side using our small end of our part, because we're using card, at the 5 7/8 mark, and then at the 6 7/8, 8 7/8, and 9 7/8. This will bring this piece, which is just shy of the 9 7/8. So this is a 5 7/8, 6 7/8, 7 7/8, 8 7/8. Plenty of them. So there we go. So that's that piece, and we might as well do the other piece while we're at the same time. So let's move that out of the way, and we're going to score this piece at 5 4 3 7/8, 4 7/8, 5 7/8, and 6 7/8. So that's 3 7/8, 4 7/8, 5 7/8, 6 7/8, and that's all our scoring done. So let's pop that scoreboard out of the way. We don't need that anymore, and we will start with That's the back of the card. We don't want that piece. We want this piece here and our two panels. So we're going to score these, or we're going to fold these over to make a square at the bottom. So we're going to fold them all the same way. They're all going to be valley folds, and we're going to pop that over and we're going to glue that like so. So we're going to open this up and you will pop your glue on the very end one here, this very end one here. So let me pop this over and we will put some glue onto this bit. And then we're going to bring it down so that it's virtually in half. We can fold this piece right over on top of it, making sure that the sides and line up nicely. And we have our first section of our card. We will then glue our designer series paper to our layer. I can hear somebody, sounds like they're drilling or something outside. Sorry about the noise. And this is going to go on the inside like so. So this piece here is facing up towards you. So that's the back section of our card, and then with this piece here that we've glued together, which is our, what I call on my piece, the back cube layers, is going to sit onto here like so. So we're going to glue that onto there, making sure that if you have a directional paper like I do here, which is like little hearts, that this is going to be the right way around. So that's going to sit onto that layer like so, and that is the back of our card. So before we go any further, I'm actually going to do the very back of the card because it just goes together easier if you do. So we're going to stamp the back of our card, and we're going to stamp that just with the flower, and we're going to, I'm going to do it the other way around, a bit easier. I'll know that I've got it all. And I'm going to pop that over on this side here. And then I'm going to stamp, I'm going to pop the lid on that piece. A couple of little butterflies in the Daffodil Delight, just over here on the back of the card. So now I'm going to colour that in, and I have here my two colours, which is Mossy Meadow and Daffodil Delight. So I'm going to do my Daffodil Delight in the light. Daffodil Delight in the light. Daffodil Delight. So I'm going to do them all nicely. My pen's a bit squiggly on the end. I have to get some new ones. So we've done the light, now we're going to do a bit of dark, which is just as bad. I'm just going to pop a little bit around where the black bits are and along this edge here, and the same in the rest of the petals here. Just to give it a bit of depth. And that's my Mossy, and then this is my Mossy Meadow light now, and that looks so different, but they are the same one. So let's do this. This is the light Mossy Meadow, Oh, very quiet today. There we go. Whoops, a bit there missing. And then just put a little bit of the dark. Oh, my pen's come apart. There we go, that's better. Along this edge here, just to give it a bit of depth. Okay, so that's the back of my card, and that's all that I'm putting on it. I'm not actually going to be placing any writing on the back of the card because it's an Easter card, and I'm just going to put who it's from. Oh, it's come about. So I'm popping that onto the back of there like so, which I'm really happy with the way that's turned out, and that is going to then be glued onto the back of the card here. So let's do that, and then it's just easier to put the back of the card on at this stage. You will find if you're making it that, you know, that it is easier. It's, I don't know, I mean, you might find an easier way, and if you do, I'd love to know, because everybody finds things differently and does things a little bit differently. So that's the back of our card done. So now we're going to do the middle section. So our middle section is just gluing our pieces together. So that's gluing our designer paper onto our layer. And I've got a squiggly edge there. And then my layer onto the card piece. There we go. And then once we've done that, we're now going to glue that onto the front of the card here. Now you can either get a pencil and a ruler and just mark a ½ an inch in on either side, or you can eyeball it like I'm going to do. So I'm just going to eyeball it roughly. So I'm just going to put some glue into the center there onto that panel. Whoops, not on the bottom of the card. And making sure that I get this up the correct way, I'm then going to pop this onto the middle, eyeballing that I've got it as close as possible, stand it up and bring it down to the bottom of the card so that it's flush along this bottom edge. And that's our middle section of our card. Now I can hold that up, just push it down nice and tightly, and that's the middle section of our card. Now a card like that on its own would be alright, but it just doesn't like to stand up, it's too narrow. So then we come on to our last piece of our card. Oh, I thought I'd stuck that down. And this piece gets folded exactly the same as the last one. So we got mountain folds all the way around on our card. And then we're going to bring that up to the halfway mark and pop glue onto the very last section here. Fold it over, making sure once again that we're all nice and level on the sides, and we're going to pop that on there like that. So then we're going to pop this piece onto here like so. Now you might think to yourself, oh wow, that's too long, but no, it's not, because that piece should have gone on that way around. This piece goes on as if it's upside down, because this is the front of the card. So you want this piece the correct way around. So now we're going to glue these two pieces together, like so. And we're going to glue those to the front of the card. And this is gunking up awful at the moment. And go onto the front of the card here. So that is the front of our card. So we can either now pop this onto here, or we can do our decorating in here, whichever you find easier. I'm going to glue this onto here beforehand, So once again, we just want to put glue onto this section of the card here. We can do that on this piece. We couldn't do that on the other piece because you didn't know the height. And again, you can either measure in 1 inch or you can eyeball it. And I'm just going to eyeball it. And once again, I'm going to make sure that when it's standing up, it's level with the rest of the card. So I'm just going to press that against there like so. Then I can press that down and finish it off nicely. So that's our card, and it stands up just perfectly. On that side. It won't stand on that side because it's all wobbly on that side. So now I'm going to pop my pin in my glue for a moment. That looks like it's leaning forward, but it does sit nicely. I will assure you. There we go. It does sit nicely. So we're going to pop that onto one side, and we're going to work out what we're going to do with these flowers, our butterflies, and our Happy Easter. So I'm going to stamp my Happy Easter onto this. I'm going to use my picker punch, my lovely Labels picker punch, and I'm going to use this side here, and I'm using it at the 1 inch mark. That wasn't straight. That wasn't very clever, was it? I do hate unstraight ones. So let's pop that in there again. And we'll turn it over and make sure it's nice and straight. There we go. That's better. I'll keep that bit, as you know why. I've done this before, so you'll, unless this is your first time here. So I'm going to pop my words, Easter blessing, into that section there. Oh my goodness, that is awful. That has come out really awful. So let's start again. We're not doing very good there today, are we? So let's pop this in here again. Good job, I've got a long piece of card. There we go. I think I pressed down just a little bit too hard. So don't press so hard and you'll get it right. There we go, that's much, much better. Pop that onto there like so. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this piece onto here, and then I will know how far back to cut this off. That way I can then pop this back into my punch, making sure it's nice and even. There we go. And then we can get him out. Come out, wherever you are. There we go. Okay, so that's that done, and I'm then going to bring in my yellow again. Actually, no, I won't do it with that. I'll do it with the blender pens. I'm just going to go around the edge here, just to give this a bit of colour on the edge. Because I didn't want it to be just plain. Okay, so then we can work out how we're going to pop this together. So my flowers are going to be way too long, as you can see. Now we need to make sure that we do not go above this level here. Alright, because if we go above there like this, when it folds down, it will be above the top line. So unless you're going to make a special envelope for it to go in, we don't need to go that high. So I'm going to work out that my just by holding them on the side here, that my petals, whatever them things are called, I can't remember what they're called, stems. Don't you hate it when you get a mental blank like that? Are the right length. So I can throw those bits in the bin, because I'm going to pop these onto this middle section here, like so, because I want my flowers to be here. Now you can go out the sides, not a problem, because you've got this width here. We just don't want them to go above the top. So once you're happy with where they are, we'll then pop a bit of glue onto the back of them, or you can, if you want, you could put them on dimensions, but I'm going to glue mine down because I've already got dimension there from the other bit. So I'm going to pop that one just there like so, and then the other one I can pop over here. Oh gosh, this is jamming up with not letting that glue come out. And pop this one on this side here. Oh, don't go above that after I told you, and then I did it myself. So that's our bit there. Let's pop the pin in the glue because it's actually drying out. It must be quite warm outside. And I'll pop a couple of dimensions onto my Happy Easter, which I will pop down the bottom here because I don't think I want to pop out the front. I think I'll pop it down the front here. It says Happy Easter. And then I will just get some of the mini ones. Yes, I've got the mini ones here. And pop some more little butterflies all over. Getting a bit stuck to me again, and I should have done the same as I did last time, and I didn't. So and I'll pop the other one down here on top of the label, I think, just on the edge there, like so. Finishing off with a few of my favourite iridescent rhinestones. Just around like so, and that's our card. What do you think? Oh, it's just so effective, and it stands up beautifully, as you can see, and it lays flat in a normal envelope. So okay, your butterflies will get a little bit squished, but you can always pull them up again. But I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. It's just so easy, and I hope you've enjoyed it. If you would like the written tutorial for this, please head over to Diane's Den for stamping, crafting and tutorials, because you'll find it there for free. And if you've enjoyed today's video, even if it is a bit long, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. I do always answer all the comments, and I would love to see you again another week. Thank you. Bye for now.